How are you doing? Welcome to The Last Rights. Drop a sub if you would be so kind. They've sort of named, and by they I think it was the Daily Mail who did it originally, they've named the gentleman who may allegedly the possible suspect involved in the Ann Widdecombe events, as in her death. And let's have a look. It is this guy, allegedly. Now we'll go through some of that in a minute, but he's been named as Joshua Kerry. I'm saying alleged. I asked my lawyer, where does my lawyer live? In the toilet. I stuck my head right in the bowl and I had a sniff and I went, Jeff, what should I say? And he went, alleged suspect. I went, all right. And then I flushed it anyway. That's where they all live, right? In the toilet. Anyway, this is the gentleman accused of driving hundreds of miles and potentially bludgeoning Ann Widdecombe, former politician, to off of the mortal coil, I guess would be the way to describe it. I'm just keeping an eye on the OBS works here. Now, he looks a little bit different to the CCTV, but I believe the picture's a few years old, all right? He does look... If this was 2014, because craft beer is very popular now, if this was 2014, he would be insisting you come and try the local craft beer with him, right? He's come to the office with a bag. Is that a box of or a jar of chocolate eggs? Is he playing a guess the weight or guess the amount of chocolate eggs game? He seems that sort of guy. This was the first generation of guys that weren't dangerous that got tattoos. Do you remember people with tattoos would just be dangerous people? And then there was a generation of guys who rode wooden bikes, wrote poetry, and insisted you have a craft ale with them. And it's this guy. And it was the year's 2012, let's say. And speaking from personal experience, and he sort of, I don't know, he's got a touch of the tism and he plays Dungeons and Dragons as well. But he's also, you know, I don't know, probably everyone says he's a nice guy, and he's sort of a nice guy. He goes regularly to sort of one of those cinemas that has a showcase of classic movies and tells you all about it afterwards. But he is being quizzed by police, possibly counter-terrorism police, as this suspect in the ex-Tory minister's murder case. Now, I like to get a local Devon thing as well. It makes me shiver bringing up the sun, I have to say. Okay, and these pictures have kind of disappeared here as well. Yeah, counter-terrorism police have taken over the investigation. So we're just getting the facts again. Arrested on July the 11th on Saturday. I think the murder was on the 8th. And he was, of course, seen on CCTV with a pole in his pocket. And no, it's not a euphemism. The wonderful media source of Facebook. But let's ignore the source, because these people are just pointing out, well, it looks quite a little bit different to the CCTV of the guy that got in the car in Rotherham with the pole in his pocket and putting stuff in the bins the next day. But picture was 4 years ago, right? People can put on weight, people can cut their hair. When you're looking at facial pictures from different cameras and lenses and lighting, people can look very, very different. The one thing that was getting me was the hairline, though. That hairline's higher than mine, and on here it's not so bad. Maybe he had a transplant, maybe they found a ticket to Turkey in his in the last few years. But listen, hey, it could be the same person. Let's wait and see. But there he is. Look, lovely guy. Oh, here comes Josh. Is that Josh with the chocolate eggs? Don't worry about what happens in a few years' time. I'm a time traveller. Don't worry. We'll have CSI out for Josh. What do you mean? He's the nicest guy. Look, I guessed 112 eggs and there were 111. He gave me the fucking jar anyway. I got fat. Josh had a nice time. Look how happy he is. Yeah. But yeah, we'll see. Apparently described as a fairly nice chap. His dad died last year and then he became a bit of a recluse. So maybe he just sat at home, eating all his eggs, cut his hair off, got a transplant at the same time, and then drove a few hundred miles and bludgeoned an old lady to death for whatever reason. Let's see. There we go. They've kind of named him, so I'll name him as well. But alleged, possible, maybe, suspect. Got to be careful. Isn't that right, Jeff? I flushed the toilet. That lawyer will never... I'll have to get another one. All right. Anyway, drop us a sub if you'd be so kind, and we'll see you later on. We'll follow this story, of course, and I'll continue to talk nonsense, and I hope you come back. Thanks for the 500 subs, by the way. Let's go north. I like you. Go and have your dinner. See you later.